I would like to switch gears to talk a little bit about the microbiome and the possible effect of PBM on the microbes that live in our gut. What has been your experience with this? I've heard you speak about a team that's developed a pill that you take that once it reaches a certain point spews out light, and then you can collect it at the other end.
I think the idea of the pill was to do with intestinal inflammation. So it was Crohn's disease and irritable bowel syndrome. I don't know whether it would have worked, but that was the idea, that you could have an LED pill that would switch itself on when it got to the right part of the intestines, because it was had a pH sensor. So when it got to the right place, it would switch itself on. Now, I think that was just an idea. The folks that are keen on photobiomodulation, the microbiome, are in Australia. I mean, it's Anne Liebert and Brian Bicknell and they have a company which, because they're part of this Parkinson's effort. And their idea is, in addition to putting the light on the head for Parkinson's, you also put it on the belly. And the reason you put it on the belly, according to them, is you will affect the microbiome in the guts. I'm not sure if that's correct, because, putting the light on the belly is probably fine, because there's a lot of systemic absorption, there's a lot of muscle, blood flow, but how much actually gets to the guts and quite why it should affect the microbiome is not clear to me.
I mean, something that I've been told is that the amount of light that would be reaching the intestines would be so minimal, because there's a lot to get through to reach
a lot to get through. Yeah, absolutely.
But
I mean, it doesn't mean that if the light is absorbed in the blood, that it could be doing something in the body that results in changes in the microbiome. That seems quite reasonable to me. If that was the case, then something like a whole body light bed would be the best way to test that. Does using a whole body light bed change your microbiome?
I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe bacteria emit quite a bit of light in the infrared range.
No.
Okay.
Nothing emits quite a lot of light in any range. People have talked about biophotons. Biophotons are incredibly weak. There are 9 orders of magnitude lower than visible light that you can see. I mean, you need single photon counters to even measure them. So people like to talk about biophotons and cells communicating by light, but it's all completely hypothetical. And the reason is that because these photons are so incredibly difficult to detect, even if cells emit them, neighboring cells can't detect them. There is no biological single photon detector.
Right. So you think that the emission from bacteria would be, so minimal that it's basically a wash. It's not going to be making.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.